Welcome, participants. Thank you for participating in the e-quiz on fundamentals of chemistry organized by PG Department of Chemistry, Arlandar College, Karmathur. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the complete answer key for the e-quiz on fundamentals of chemistry. The first question is the hybridization of tetrachloro complexes of platinum 2 and nickel 2 respectively are. Actually, the correct answer is DSP2 and sp3. See, if you look at the periodic table, nickel and platinum will come in the same group, and both are 2 plus metal ion and having D8 outermost electronic configuration, and the ligand is also weak field chloride ion, but PTCl4 forms square planar complex, and whereas nickel tetrachloride forms tetrahedral geometry. See, in this case, the pairing of the electron doesn't take place because the ligand is weak field, but here the pairing of electron takes place because as you go down the group, in general, the crystal field stabilization energy increases. So the hybridization of nickel tetrachloride is sp3. On the other hand, in the case of platinum tetrachloride, it is dsp2. The next question is, a short DNA has 25 adenine and 35 cytosine nucleobases. The total number of nucleobases present in the DNA is, and most of the students answered as 60. Just they add the 25 and 35, but the answer is 120 here, because if there is a adenine, and there must be a thymine must be present in DNA, because DNA is a double helical structure. If there is adenine always binds with thymine, and cytosine always binds with guanine. So if there are 25 adenine molecules, there must be 25 thymine molecules, and if there are 35 cytosine, and there must be 35 guanine. So the total count is 120. The next question is, the covalent character of lithium bromide, lithium fluoride, and lithium iodide follows the order. Actually, this is simple Fajan's rule. Since the cation is lithium in all the cases, let's look at the anions alone. The larger the size of the anion, greater its polarizing power. That means the greater will be the covalent character. If the size of the anion is larger, greater the polarizing power and greater the covalency. And we know that iodide ion is having the highest size than the bromide, which is larger than the fluoride. So the same order will follow for the degree of covalency also. So the next question is, the number of moles of 67.2 liters of carbon dioxide at STP is. One of the easiest questions, because 22.4 liters corresponds to 1 mole at STP. So 67.2 corresponds to 3 moles. And the next question is, which among the following are aromatic in nature? We have cyclopropanone, cyclopentadienone, cycloheptatrienone, and cyclooctatetraene. Out of these two, option A and C are aromatic in nature. So let's discuss about this answer. See, in the case of cyclopropanone, it is planar in nature because all the carbons are sp2 hybridized. And if we talk about the delocalization, see, this carbon of this carbonyl carbon carries positive charge because of the electronegativity difference between carbon and oxygen, which makes oxygen as negative and carbon as positive, and hence the delocalization is possible here. In the similar way, this compound is also, the delocalization is also possible for this compound due to the positive charge on this carbon. And if we look at the 4n plus 2 pi electrons, and both satisfy the Huckel's rule, that is 4n plus 2 pi electrons also present. But in the case of cyclopentadienone, although there is delocalization and the compound is planar, it does not have 4n plus 2 pi electrons, it has only 4n pi electrons. In the similar way, in the cyclooctatetraene also has only 4n pi electrons. So these two are not aromatic, and these two are aromatic in nature. The next question is, which among the following is wrong with respect to sulfur tetrafluoride? The options are, its molecular shape is sesa, it has one lone pair of electrons, the dipole moment of the compound is 0, the hybridization is sp3d. First of all, let us consider the hybridization of SF4. So the sulfur in ground state will have this electronic configuration, that is 3s to 3p4, 3s to 3p4. When fluoride ion approaches, since there are four fluoride ions, one electron from this 3p orbital will be excited to the 3d orbital so that it can accommodate four fluoride ions, and the hybridization is sp3d. So option D is correct, and it has one lone pair of electrons, so option 2 is also correct. And if you look at the structure, since it is a sp3d hybridization, its molecular shape must be trigonal bipyramidal, and the lone pair should occupy the equatorial position in that to minimize the repulsion. So its structure is also Caesar, that is also correct. And if you look at the dipole moment, that is not actually zero, it is having some dipole moment. Just look at the structure of sulfur tetrafluoride. See, there are two axial beacons that creates dipole because fluorine is more electronegative than sulfur. But since these two are exactly opposite to each other, the dipole moment will mutually cancels for these two axial fluoride ions. But in the case of equatorial, there are these two sulfur ions will create some dipole, and the net dipole moment will be in this direction, which is exactly opposite to the dipole created by the lone pair. But these two dipole moments will not cancel mutually because the magnitude is not same, so it will have a net dipole moment of 0.632 dB. So the answer is dipole moment of the compound is 0. That is a wrong statement here, and that is the answer here. And the next question is the molarity of barium chloride solution that has the same ionic strength as of 1 mole per kilogram solution of KCl is. So we should know what is the formula for the ionic strength, and the ionic strength formula is equal to 1 by 2 and the summation of Ca and Za square. That is, here the Ca is nothing but the concentration, ion concentration, and Za is the charge of the ion. Let's see how barium chloride dissociates. Barium chloride will be dissociated into barium 2 plus and 2 chloride ions. Suppose if we take 1 mole of barium chloride, it produces 2 moles of chloride ions. So this one is the concentration of barium 2 plus ion, and this plus 2 is nothing but the charge of barium 2 plus ion to the power square. So since it is a summation, we have to add chloride ion concentration also. The concentration of chloride ion is 2 because it produces 2 chloride ion, and the charge is -1 to the power -1 the whole square. So if we solve this, we will get the ionic strength of barium chloride is 3, and in the case of potassium chloride, if we follow the same formula, it comes as 1. That means for if you take 1 mole of barium chloride, its ionic strength is 3, and if you take 1 mole of KCl, its ionic strength is 1. So if these two ionic strength has to be equal, we must take 1 by 3 moles of barium chloride. So that's the answer for this question. And the next question is the major product formed in the following reaction is. See, it is the reaction between toluene and N-propyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride. Actually, it is a simple Friedel-Crafts reaction. If you look at the mechanism of Friedel-Crafts reaction, in the first step, N-propyl chloride reacts with aluminum chloride and forms the carbocation, that is N-propyl carbocation and aluminum tetrachloride ion. If N-propyl carbocation directly attacks the toluene ring, we will end up with N-propyl derivative, but this N-propyl carbocation is a primary carbocation which readily rearranges into the stable secondary carbocation, that is isopropyl cation. So compared to these two, the stability of secondary carbocation is more, so hence the attack of isopropyl cation into the phenyl ring will take place. And since this toluene is ortho-para directing group, the isopropyl group has two choices, either to ortho or para. But in ortho position, due to high steric hindrance, the isopropyl group prefers the para position, and hence option 3, that is para substituted product, is the major product in this case. The next question is for a reaction A gives rise to product, the half-life period is directly proportional to the initial concentration of the reactant. The unit of the rate constant of the reaction is. Actually, in general, if you see, the half-life period is inversely proportional to the initial concentration to the power n minus 1. If the half-life period is directly proportional, means the order of the reaction must be zero order reaction. For nth order reaction, the unit of the rate constant is This is also a general formula, that is mole power 1 minus n and liter power n minus 1 per second. If n is equal to 0 and the unit is mole per liter per second. Here the only tactics is this: T half is inversely proportional to equal to initial concentration to the power a minus 1. Since n is 0 here, it is 1 by a minus 1, that is nothing but T half is directly proportional is equal to a. If you know the order of the reaction as 0, we can calculate the unit of the reaction very easily, and the answer is mole per liter per second. And the next question is, which among the following order is correct with respect to O-N-O bond angle in NO2, NO2 minus and NO2 plus? First, let us examine the structure of NO2. It is actually paramagnetic in nature, that is the central atom nitrogen will have one unpaired electron, and if we remove one electron from this, we will end up with the structure of NO2 plus, and if we add one more electron, and we will get NO2 minus. See, in NO2 plus, the central atom doesn't have any electron, so the expected structure is linear. Since there is one electron, we can expect some lone pair bond pair repulsion, but in this case it is not lone pair, it is unpair. Unpair bond pair repulsion exists, but here it is lone pair bond pair repulsion which predominates than unpair bond pair repulsion, and there is no repulsion at all here in the case of NO2 plus. So the O-NO bond angle will be maximum, that is 180 degree in the case of NO2 plus, and the next one comes on the NO2, and finally the O-NO bond angle is very least in the case of NO2 minus. So the correct order is NO2 plus and NO followed by NO2 and then NO2 minus. The next question is the amount of oxalic acid required to prepare 250 ml of 0.25 normal solution is one of the easiest question, and the equivalent weight of oxalic acid, as we know that it is 63, and the weight can be calculated by means of this simple formula EVS by 1000, that is E is nothing but equivalent weight, V is the volume of the solution required, and this S is the strength required divided by 1000. So if you just substitute the values here, and we will end up with, we can get the answer, that is 3.94 gram. The next question is the electronic configuration of octahedral aqua complex of cobalt 2 plus ion is. The valential electronic configuration of cobalt is 3d7 4s2. So after losing 2 electrons, it will have the electronic configuration of 3d7. So how it arranges in T2G and EG, that will decide the electronic configuration of octahedral aqua complex of CO2 plus ion. And water is a weak field ligand. So in the case of weak field ligand, the delta O is less than that of the pairing energy. So the first 3 electrons will go to the TTG, and the 4th electron, whether it will pair into the TTG or will it go to the EG, that is the case. Since the delta O is lesser, the 4th electron will go here and the 5th will go to the EG level, and the 6th electron will come to the T2G and gets pair up, and the 7th electron will come and pair up in the T2G level. So it will have the T2G5 and the EG2. Suppose if the ligand is strong field, it will have T2G6 and EG1. So the correct answer is T2G5 and EG2. The next question is the oxidation number of lead and barium in PbO2 and BaO2 are dash and dash respectively. So most of them have answered as +4 and +4. For lead oxide, there is no problem because X, if we take the oxidation number of lead as X and oxidation number of oxygen, we know that it is -2, so it will give us +4. But in the case of barium oxide, we need to think of, because barium is an alkaline earth metal, the stable oxidation number is only +2, it can never be +4. So barium oxide is a peroxide, so the oxidation number of oxygen in peroxide is -1. So if you do this calculation, it is only +2. So the correct answer is +4 and +2. And the next question is the structure of 2s 3r 2-amino 3-hydroxy butanoic acid is. So we have 4 options. Actually, the assignment of S and RS configuration is based on the CIP rule, and if you know CIP rules, and we can answer this question very easily. For instance, I will just explain one structure, and let us consider this chiral carbon, and the functional group which is attached is NH2COOH, and this the one which is marked in red. The first priority goes to NH2 because nitrogen will have the highest atomic number out of carbon and carbon. So the first priority goes to NH2. The second priority will go to COOH because this carbon is attached with carbon. Here also it is attached with the carbon, but here it is attached with the two oxygens, but here it is attached with only one oxygen and carbon only. So the second priority will go to 2, that is COOH group, and that ultimately the third priority will go to the group which is marked as red, and the fourth priority will go to the hydrogen. And if you look at if you connect the arrow mark, it will go to counterclockwise direction. So in fact it is a S configuration, but since the hydrogen is in horizontal, we should reverse the configuration, so the configuration is R. And if you work out like this, the correct answer for this question is option 3. The next question is, at 25 degrees Celsius, the solubility product of magnesium chloride is 3.2 into 10 minus 11. The solubility of the salt at the given temperature is. So first of all, let's derive the solubility product for this magnesium chloride. The magnesium chloride will be dissociated as magnesium 2 plus and 2 chloride ions. Initially, if we take 1 moles, there won't be any formation of magnesium 2 plus and chloride ions. If X moles gets dissociated, it forms X moles of magnesium 2 plus and 2X moles of chloride ion. If you write the solubility product expression, it is a magnesium 2 plus ion concentration multiplied by chloride ion minus concentration to the power 2 and divided by magnesium chloride. Since X is too small, we can ignore this. So Ksp is equal to, and the concentration of magnesium chloride is X, and the concentration of Cl minus is 2X, and here there is a power 2, so 2X to the power 2, and hence Ksp is equal to 4X cube, and that value is given, that is 4X cube is equal to 3.2 into 10 minus 11, and if you solve for X, and you will get 2 into 10 minus 4. The correct order of entropy for various states of water is, so entropy is degree of randomness, is a measure of degree of randomness, and we know that gases are more random than liquids, which are more random than solids. So no doubt the simplest question, H2O gas followed by H2O liquid and H2O solid. Gases are more random than liquids than solids. The secondary amino acid among the following is, it's a direct question. There is actually proline is the right answer. That is the only secondary amino acids. And lysine, if you look at the, you can refer the structures here. Lysine is a primary, and tyrosine is also primary, and methionine is also primary, and proline, it is a secondary amino acid. The next question is, the coordination number of calcium 2 plus and fluoride ion in calcium fluoride is dash and dash respectively. Just look at the structure of calcium fluoride. In that, calcium ion forms FCC lattice, that is 8 corners and 6 phase centers will be occupied by calcium 2 plus ion, and there will be 8 tetrahedral holes in this structure, and that will be occupied by the fluoride ions. Since the fluoride ion is in the tetrahedral hole, it will be surrounded by 4 calcium ions. Suppose if you consider this fluoride ion, 1, 2, 3 and 4 of these calcium 2 plus ion will be connected to fluoride ion. So the coordination number of fluoride ion is 4. On the other hand, if you look at this calcium ion, it will be surrounded by 8 fluoride ion and 4 in this one, in this unit cell, and 4 fluoride ion from the unit cell just above to this one. So the coordination number of calcium ion is 8. So the correct answer is 8, 4. The next question is, the correct order with respect to the stability of conformation of butane is. See, conformational isomerism is a kind of structural isomerism in which the isomers are interconverted due to the carbon-carbon single bond rotation. In butane, we have 4 different conformers: antistaggered, gauge, eclipsed and fully eclipsed. In fully eclipsed, the dihedral bond angle is 0 degree, and hence the methyl and methyl groups will experience lot of torsional strain as well as steric repulsion, and the molecule will have, and this conformation will have the highest energy, and hence it is the least stable. The most stable conformation is anti-staggered, and if you look at this, the dihedral angle is 180 degree, and hence there is minimum torsional strain and steric repulsion in the case of anti-staggered, so which is the most stable conformers in the case of butane. And the next stable conformation is gauge, in that the dihedral angle is 60 degree, and which is more stable than eclipsed and fully eclipsed form, but least stable than less stable than anti-staggered form. And in the case of eclipsed, which is having more stability than fully eclipsed, because in fully eclipsed the two bulky groups will experience lot of repulsion, but in the case of eclipsed, hydrogen and methyl groups are will have the dihedral angle of 0 degree. So compared to fully eclipsed, eclipsed will have less steric repulsion. So the order follows: anti-staggered, gauge, eclipsed, and fully eclipsed. The next question is, on the basis of the following equation, the strongest oxidizing agent is. So Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus, the reduction potential is 0.77, and potassium ferricyanide to potassium ferrocyanide reduction potential is 0.35. See, actually the oxidizing power is the measurement of the ability to oxidize. That means by means of the redox potential we can easily solve this. The more the positive the electrode potential, the greater the oxidizing ability. The more positive of E0 value reflects that it has the greater tendency to get reduced by itself. That means it acts as a better oxidizing agent. The oxidizing agent is the one which gets reduced easily. The higher E0 value of Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus compared to ferricyanide to ferrocyanide, 0.35 value. So this redox couple gets reduced easily, that is Fe3 plus gets reduced easily, so acts as a better oxidizing agent. Which of the lanthanide ion is diamagnetic? One of the easiest question, that is we have given the atomic numbers also. If you know the electronic configuration, it is very easy to solve. And the electronic configuration of cerium is outermost is 4f1, 5d1 and 6s2. After losing 2 electrons, actually 6s2 electrons will be lost, it will have 2 unpaired electrons. And in the case of samarium, the outermost configuration is 4f6 and 6s2. After losing this 6s2 electrons, it will have 6 unpaired electrons, so it is also paramagnetic. And in the case of europium, it is 4f7 and 6s2 is the electronic configuration. After losing 2 electrons, it will also have the 7 unpaired electron. But in the case of ytterbium, it is 4f14 and 6s2. So after losing 2 electrons, it will have the completely filled f orbital. There is no unpaired electron, hence this is actually diamagnetic in nature. The product of the following reaction is, that is, two molecules of benzaldehyde reacts with the sodium hydroxide to form what? This is a simple Gunny-Zor reaction. That means one molecule of benzaldehyde will be getting oxidized to benzoic acid, the another one will be getting to reduced to benzyl alcohol. And the question is where this oxygen will go. That is the question here. Here, if you look at the mechanism of Gunny-Zor reaction, we can clearly understand the oxygen remains with the benzoate ion. And since the benzoic acid is more acidic than benzyl alcohol, it forms sodium benzoate rather than this one. So the correct answer for this question is option 4. And the next question is, image shows the phase diagram of one component system. The number of degrees of freedom at 0.2, 0.3 and 0.4 are respectively. And this is a question from phase equilibrium. And as we all know that for one component system, the degree of freedom is F equal to C minus P plus 2, where C is the component and Phi is the number of phases. And in the problem itself, we have given it is a one component system. So C is 1 here, and if you know the number of phases at 0.2, 0.3 and 0.4, you can solve this problem very easily. And 0.2 is nothing but the triple point of this system, in which solid is in equilibrium with the liquid, which is in equilibrium with gas. So the number of phases at 0.2 is 3, and since it is one component system, and if you apply these values in the formula, you will end up with the degree of freedom is equal to 0 at point 2. And in the case of point 3, only solid exists, so the number of phases is only 1, and if you calculate degree of freedom, it will come as 2. And in point 4, the liquid is in equilibrium with the solid, so the number of phases is 2, and if you apply the formula, the degree of freedom is 1 at point 4. So the answer is 0 at point 2, 2 at point 3, and 1 at point 4. So 0 to 1, that is the correct answer. Which among the following statement is wrong with respect to the titration of oxalic acid versus potassium permanganate? So it is an example of redox titration. Of course, it is a redox titration. See that in that potassium permanganate will be getting reduced and the oxalic acid will be getting oxidized in acidic medium. So it is a redox titration, and it is an example of autocatalytic reaction. Yes, the formed manganese 2 plus ion will act as the catalyst for this reaction. So it is an autocatalytic reaction, and potassium permanganate acts as the oxidizing agent as well as the self indicator. So potassium permanganate is getting reduced in this reaction. So the species which gets reduced in a reaction will act as the oxidizing agent. So permanganate is the oxidizing agent, and this reaction doesn't need any external indicator. Permanganate itself will act as the self indicator, and we need acidic medium also, but the acidic medium is created by the addition of dilute sulfuric acid. Up to this, the statement is right, but we cannot use HCl to bring the acidic medium because the Cl minus ion can be oxidized by permanganate ion. So the amount of permanganate required for the oxidation of oxalic acid cannot be measured exactly if you use HCl to bring the acidic condition. So that's a utilization of HCl is the wrong statement in this reaction, and that's a correct answer for this. The point group of PCl5 is actually that it is a D3H. It is the structure of PCl5 is trigonal, bipyramidal, and it is having a C3 axis and a 3 sigma b planes is also present, and there is a sigma h plane is also present. So the point group is D3H. Thank you for listening this video. If you have any further doubts or queries, you can contact me at my mail ID or to my mobile. Thank you so much.